Greetings, all of you remodelers listening to this. It is the Remodelers on the Rise show. You already knew that. Why do I even say that at the start of these? Chances are, if you're clicking on this, you're well aware that it's the Remodelers on the Rise show. I really appreciate you listening in. My goal with all of these podcasts is to deliver a reminder, a new teaching, offer some clarity, give you something that you can grab a hold of and that will help you incrementally continue to get better and better. A remodeler on the rise, if you will. Today is just a little solo episode, probably not going to be a super long episode, and it's specifically around, I would say, the broad topic of managing your team well, and in particular, utilizing an approach of one-on-one meetings with your team members. You may know a little bit about my business. I've been in business for going on 16 plus years now. If you would have asked me early on in my business, hey, Kyle, you want to have a team? Do you want to have employees? I would have said, not really. Sounds like it would make things more complex. I'm going to keep things simple. I'm going to keep things lean. And I did that for a good number of years. Then I started getting a little virtual assistant help. Then I started getting a little part-time help. And a little over going on 6 years now, I hired my first full-time employee. And here more recently, after having a little bit of very part-time assistance, in addition to that full-time employee, we hired somebody for 30 hours a week, yearly, full-time. So I would say I have 2 employees plus a bookkeeper plus some other help around me. And if you asked me today, Kyle, do you enjoy having a team and managing a team, or is it still making things complex and harder? I would say pretty emphatically, I really enjoy having team members. I'm finding in this kind of chapter of my business that I care deeply about making sure that my team members, hi Bailey, hi Cassie, are really enjoying their job, that they are feeling motivated, that they are feeling encouraged, that they're feeling supported. I care a lot about making sure that they see a future and continued growth in their respective careers at my company. And I take their overall happiness and satisfaction of their job quite seriously, and I enjoy that. What you have to realize as a remodeler is if you are going to grow beyond doing everything on your own, you are going to also have to grow as a leader of your business. As you consider the time that you spend in your business, a bigger percentage over the years is going to go towards overall leadership of your team. That's either team members that you have as W-2 employees, that is your 1099 part-time folks, that's your trade partners, subcontractors, or trade partners that you use. As you grow your remodeling business, your growth as a leader also needs to increase. Slight plug, the 4th quarter of the VIP Club is all on leadership. It's a great time to jump into the wonderfully priced, wonderfully packaged VIP Club. Go to remodelersontherise.com, click on the VIP Club, and learn all about it. So that's a little background of how I think about leadership. And one of the tools that I have found to be very effective, and a lot of my remodeling clients also find to be very effective, are one-on-one meetings. One-on-one meetings. You have an office manager, amazing. You should be sitting down with him or her every, let's say, 2 weeks, and sitting down and not having a meeting about that project or that job cost report or that little thing that that person's working on, but rather we should be talking to that person about how things are going. Perhaps they even rate from 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being wonderful. How are things going and why? What do you need from me that would make your job better? Is there any questions that you have or things that you're struggling with? Is there anybody on the team or with our trade partners or even with our clients that you're struggling with right now? And can we work on that? Is there any training that you need to advance in your skills? All of these types of questions, and I'll go through some more of them, are the types of things that you talk about in a one-on-one meeting. So you have to think about, number one, who are you going to have these meetings with? If you have an office manager, yep. You have a designer, yes. You have a project manager, absolutely. You have an estimator or even a lead carpenter. Figure out who on your team you are going to have your one-on-one meetings with. And perhaps you have a project manager with a couple lead carpenters underneath them, and you need to train your project manager on how to have one-on-one meetings with their direct reports. So figure out who you're going to have these with. Secondly, think about your frequency of them. If they're a brand new employee, it might make sense to have this every week, week in and week out for the first 3, even 4 months. Get a good cadence going. There's no reason that if you are having regular one-on-one meetings that you don't have a very clear pulse on how things are going, where struggles are, where pain points are, what they're excited about, what they're not excited about. You manage your team so much better when you are regularly making time for these one-on-one meetings. You have the time to do them. You need to make the time, carve out the time, put it on your calendar, and treat these one-on-one meetings with your team members just like you would a new prospect meeting. Might something come up? Might you have to reschedule something? Sure, that happens from time to time, but treat it really, really respectfully and hit these. Have an agenda for the meeting. Have some things that they're thinking about and they're prepping before the meeting. And overall, it's really not that magic. Don't get sucked into something specific on a job. If we ordered these materials, are these materials in? That is not what this meeting is. This meeting is all about getting a feel, getting a pulse, checking in on exactly where they're at and how to help them continue to improve, reduce their stress level, reduce their anxiety, improve their happiness overall at your business. Okay. So there's kind of the parlay of it. A couple other thoughts, and then I'm going to rattle through some other questions and whatnot that we can consider in these one-on-one meetings. Again, these help us stay connected with our team. And another thing that it does is really helps us stay focused and help them stay focused on their main goals and their main results. Back on August 16th, if you search in the Remodelers On The Rise archives, there's an interview I did with AJ Ballantyne, a successful remodeler in the DC area. The title of that podcast is Using KPIs, Key Performance Indicators, Using KPIs to Make Informed Decisions and Drive Business Improvement. We dig into this key performance indicator, these KPIs, and we unveil those for you. But each of your team members should have some KPIs, some key performance indicators, some things that you measure. And if they are doing these things, good results happen. That is another thing that you can talk about and measure and discuss in these one-on-one meetings. I've been on the receiving end of these one-on-one meetings way back in the day. I found them to be very impactful to make me feel like I'm being heard, that my voice matters, that my boss cares about me and is concerned, that they want me to enjoy my work. And those are the types of things that your team members will feel when you are having these regularly. So let me rattle through just some other kind of things that might come up in these. You could start out by saying, tell me how you think things are going and why. 1 being bad, 10 being impressed. Next, share something that you're proud of or happy about since the last time we met. Any challenges you might need my help with. You can ask questions like, how are things going in general? Is there a specific process that you're working on? How's that handoff between sales and production going? What went well since our last meeting? What could have gone better? Is there any training or learning that you're doing? Any issues with staff or subs or vendors? Anything I can do to help you achieve your goals? Those questions right there, and you can go back and pause and write those down, is a perfect outline for these. Again, figure out who you're going to deal with, the frequency of them, get a little agenda like I'm just describing, and start having them regularly. You will have a better pulse on your team. You will have a better feel for how things are going. You will be leading your team better. So much confusion, so much dissatisfaction with our team's work performance, and also dissatisfaction with how our team members are feeling about their roles. So much of it comes back to, are we taking the time to actually slow down and hear how things are going? Or has it been 7 weeks since you've actually had a meaningful conversation with a team member? Do you just sit down with them once a year for their annual review? This is not what we're talking about here. This is not an annual review. This is something that's happening much more regularly, and that really helps you lead your team well. If you're hearing some questions and some topics and some agendas that you like here, if you send an email to Bailey, aforementioned Bailey, Bailey, at remodellersontherise.com, we will send you a beautiful overview and agenda of a successful structure for a one-on-one meeting. Just put Bailey at remodellersontherise.com, put in the subject line, can you send me over that wonderful one-on-one agenda, please? And then say something nice about her in the body of the email. And I bet you she'll respond right back. Again, the point of this Remodelers on the Rise show is to deliver value to you, help you improve. This is a topic, and this is a bit of an agenda that would really, really help you out. Okay. I was clicking through Remodelers community at some other people that were writing some things in. Paul McManus, he's a big one-on-one guy. I grabbed something he wrote, and he said, this is a very simple formula. Here's how I do my one-on-ones. How are you doing? Anything I can do to help you? And what's the plan for next week? That's nice. That's nice. And he went on to say, however you ask the questions, you can add a layer of feedback, encouragement, or introspection. I found it helpful to keep a list of questions that I use to zero in on specific issues that I think a staff member might be dealing with. Just kind of having all these other questions or topics that you might bring up in here. In his case, he allows kind of 15, 20 minutes. So he keeps them pretty tight. And he does them regularly. So very impactful for him. One of my clients on the west side of the state has started to do these, been very, very helpful for him. So I've been seeing more and more of my clients embrace this, do them consistently. So that's really what I had to share on today's Remodelers on the Rise show. I wanted you to hear a little bit of the details and depth of how you would approach a one-on-one meeting and why they may be very helpful for you to incorporate into your remodeling business. Gave you a little way to get to an agenda and an overall resource for this. And that's all I got for you, which is okay. These podcasts don't need to be an hour long, right? You got plenty to do. And we have hundreds of episodes you can go back to and listen to if you want to hear more of this golden voice. When I listen back to myself, I'm kind of like, my voice sounds a little whiny, but hopefully you're enjoying it. Hopefully it's helpful. And thank you for being a listener. That's all I got for you today, my friends. Go out there, keep implementing, keep improving, more focus on fewer things, tackle one thing at a time, drive it to completion. Make sure you're marketing right now as well. That topic has been coming up more and more lately. Make sure you are actively marketing to help you generate good quality remodeling leads. Reach out if you need any help with that too. Be well. Thanks.